This is my mind journal, week 3 for my business and innovation class. This week in class, we went over a couple things, a couple marketing things actually that I thought were cool, like how they took up this Viking boat and put it in the museum to attract more guests per year. That was something cool. Or like, oh, it was a lot. Curiosity was like the main focus this week of this module, and the lady went to an art show, and I don't think she had her supplies or whatever to make the statue she wanted to make, and so she ended up using fishing string to make like a statue, or like a cool like looking like statue and art, and it worked so well for her, and she was able to make one, and I forgot what country it was. I think was it Spain? Might have been Spain. I just know it was some pretty big country in Europe for their city that to attract people. It was a huge like sculpture made out of fishing string that could like withstand all this stuff, like hurricanes and like bad weather, and I thought that was really cool because sometimes especially when it comes to art like that, everything in your life could be an art. You can make it something into something beautiful, and she was able to make the fishing string that they were using in what was this at? I think it was it India. I don't remember where she was at when she thought of the idea of a fishing string, but it was something that they use on a day-to-day basis, and they probably look at it just like, oh, it's just a tool to catch fish. She saw that and turned it into an art that millions of people walk by daily. And so I think innovation and curiosity are very important for humans and for just people in general. If you're not curious, that's not good. And actually, a quote from one of my shows that I watched was Ted Lasso. It said, "Be curious, not judgmental." And I think that's a good one as well. Be curious about what people are going through on a day-to-day basis, and don't judge, what, just like, don't judge a book by its cover. Don't judge a person by what they look like. Be curious on what they're going through. Be curious about, what happened to them today. Be curious about what they're into, or, just who they are as a person. So I think being curious is not only just about learning about new things, it's learning about people, places, ideas. It's so much. That word, it spans so much. And the video we watched, actually, let me talk about the module first. We did an AI summary of 500 words about curiosity in business, and that was really good. Mine, did made an essay about how it affects the business environment, how it helps like companies, open up their employees and make people think and innovate to new ideas for a business, and helping with new breakthroughs, and basically just like it's basically the culture gets better with curiosity inside of business because employees don't feel scared to ask questions or try to learn new things or disciplines in the business. And I like that a lot. But, of course, AI, when it makes stuff, isn't always the best. It was pretty basic with some of the stuff it was giving me. And you could tell there's no human thought or experience behind it. When it was writing this, it was just taking facts off of a generated and searched engine to create this essay. And I think curiosity does help in business so much, and it's the reason we have all these businesses and ideas and stuff you can buy on a day-to-day basis, is because someone thought of it on how to invent it or make it better than what it is. And that is just so cool that one person or a group of people can take that and advance it into something better. But I think the essay part did help me because, I'm curious on a lot of things in my life. I like to ask questions a lot and look into stuff. But with the business aspect of it, I'm also curious about, just certain aspects of business. I'm a marketing major, but I don't know for sure yet what I want to do with my business degree once I get it. And I'm really just curious about what job I'll actually end up enjoying doing and where I want to end up with this degree. So I don't know 100% for sure yet. But it was a cool module, and we also got two videos we could have watched. I watched them, and one was about assumptions. Uh, it was describing what assumptions were, and the mental barriers they could build up and bring with them. And some of the things he talked about, the important things were blind acceptance. It's like when subconsciously accept assumptions as truths without questioning. So like if you assume something like in your day to day life and you're walking around and you're just like, oh, I assume that person's angry today just based off their face, but you don't ask. You don't know, maybe their face is just resting like that. It's just how they are. You just assume that. Or like someone says something and you just assume what they said was right and you don't question it. Just like, oh, she said or he said that they're making cars that can fly, and you just don't even look into it. You're just gonna assume that cars can fly someday, and it's it was pretty cool to watch the video on this because assumptions, everyone makes them, everyone does them. It's hard not to assume some things in life. Like some days you just wake up and like, especially when you live here, you just assume it's gonna be cold. So you don't even check the weather. Sometimes I just assume it's gonna be freezing day and it's probably might even snow. So you just assume, you don't even really check the weather. But I think it's important to try not to assume everything and engage, look into the stuff before you assume. And the other video we watched was randomness in routines, was like kind of the main points. Throwing randomness into your life, and I think that is actually insanely. It's hard. I don't really stick by a routine on a day to day basis, so it's not like insanely insane to me. But like it said, like facing and talking to strangers, I would not be able to do that as well. I'm not a very social person, but yes, that would be part of it, and I think that is as one as it is crazy to, it probably is important. Seeking new faces, new just inputs into your life, or changing your routines. Like throw some randomness into your day to day. Don't get stuck on doing one routine for every day or every couple days. And maybe go somewhere new, try some new food, read an unfamiliar freaking book. Just do something that changes your view of life and perspectives. Introducing randomness, don't reject it. Let sometimes randomness happen, and which is also another thing that is very important for business, life, and sports, anything in general, is adaptability. If you really get stuck on a routine and you're expected, like, this is gonna happen, my day is gonna go like this and this and this, but then something goes wrong in the middle and you're like, oh, my day is ruined, I'm having a bad day, I can't keep up. You gotta be able to adapt to what is happening. Like if you're in a sport and you always want to be winning in the sport, you want to practice, like you want to practice, like, oh, I'm up like 20 or I'm up by whatever points and I'm winning. But sometimes you have to practice when you're down by a lot of points or you're not winning, you're getting your butt whooped, and you're in this position and you never thought you'd be there, and you gotta be comfortable with the uncomfortable of sports, businesses, life in general. Like not everything's going to go the way you plan it or you routine it. It's not going to go that way. So introduce some randomness into your life, so you're ready to face stuff like that. You're ready to see stuff like that. And I think that also helps with sparking new ideas. You might face an issue and you're like, oh, there has to be a way to do this better, and boom, new idea, boom, new innovation, new business, new everything. So just throwing randomness into your life is important. Welcoming the unexpected, which is what I just talked about. So that was like the three topics was the video. But yeah, that was what we went over really this week for the mindset journal, and I'll see you guys next week. Boom.